Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Last One y Nos Vamos. Alrighty guys, well you know it already. We're into October and these are spooky episodes. Hopefully spooky enough for you guys to be interested and keep on watching. Today, I'm going to be showing you some videos, some spooky videos, and we'll see what reaction you have and, you know, what can you say? If you really believe it, you don't believe it. Alright, Margarita,
Spooky.
so this guy, his name is Win MC Pix, I'm guessing, but he puts
On
it all
TikTok.
together. So first one.
A la madre.
I don't think it's just down here.
No, someone's back there pushing it. I'm just kidding.
Look
What
at
the
that.
heck?
This is the most active during the day that I've seen. Oh,
No.
there goes the Xbox too.
See, but like, why isn't he jumping off of it?
I'm
Why
not
isn't he like?
Well, he is about to watch.
Oh wow! Wait.
Why isn't
I
he
swear I
running and
can
packing
see.
all his stuff?
Try to
Oh,
listen to
stop
him a
it.
little bit more.
I'm not
Excuse
like
me?
that. Hun,
Was that somebody who talked?
let's go to dinner or something for a while.
Oh hell no! Oh no!
Yes.
Oh no! And that was a black shadow. You know what they say about the black shadows, that if it's a white ghost, it's a nice one. But if it's a black shadow or a black ghost, that it's evil.
Really? I didn't
Yes.
know all that.
Oh, well, that's what my dad told me. My dad, ooh, man, I should get my dad to call in too. He has seen some crazy stuff.
So second video, this is the same guy.
Stop! You gotta go. Shh, 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 shh. Calm down. What are you? Stop!
I know that my hands are already sweating. I have the chills.
Charlie, come on.
I see this video, but listening with the headphones, it sounds more intense.
I don't even know how to explain what I'm seeing.
What the heck? No, that one did trip me out, especially because of the dog is freaking
Yeah,
barking.
that's what I was gonna tell you.
Oh,
the dog
no.
really trips you out because it's like he's
Oh,
able
look,
to
it
see
starts
that
Did
right
you hear
away.
this last
It
night?
sounds so, it's more
It was
amplified
going
with
last
the
night, man.
headphones. See, and the
Charlie,
dog
come
is
here.
growling like,
Yeah.
who could it be?
I guarantee it's gonna keep on. It'll do it again.
But yeah, what you said, crazy that the dog reacts to it. So is it like more believable because of the dog? And then what really trips me out that is almost like, nah, that ain't real, is because you're able to see some actual hands, right? This will be the last video. All right, to the next one, Margarita. Put your headphones.
Roll the clip.
Ready.
Get ready, guys. Dun, dun, dun.
What is that?
See, and you watch these videos and you're like, nah, someone is like, has to be flickering
Who
the
are you?
lights.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
And you're just gonna, so you're just gonna walk.
Leave my lights alone.
It sounds like a kid.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a little too dark, but you could see a spirit coming on there. There's a reflection on that one.
Well, when you play, they'll probably be able to see it.
Yeah, they'll be able to see it, but there is
My hands
were
are
you able to see
sweating. Look
the
it.
black reflection?
No, I wasn't able to see it.
So yeah, there is a black reflection on this one, and it does sound like a little boy, and it does look like a little boy.
Yeah, because it's a little figure.
Yeah.
And like, what else could it be? I mean, there's also like computer, right? There's technology that can make it happen, but
Pues hay ustedes para que se echen el ojo and see what you guys believe or not, pero los videos están buenos.
yeah, they are,
No
guys. Go
podemos
check
decir
them
que
out.
no. Yeah, it's crazy videos, but yeah, like you said, the most trippiest part of it is that the dog reacts
Yeah.
to it. So it's like, it's mostly true.
While they said kids and dogs, they're the ones they're able to see things that we cannot see. And I wonder why that is.
Margarita, ¿qué tienes para nosotros?
So today, guys, I really I love spooky stories. I can tell my spooky stories. I don't have that many, but I know people who have spooky stories.
Okay.
So For today, we're going to have a special guest.
Oh, we're having a special guest.
From another place.
Another dimension.
Another place. I'm just kidding. Okay, so we'll be right back, and because we're gonna give this person a call, and we'll be right back, and she's gonna tell us her spooky stories. Okay. Welcome back, guys. Y aquí estamos otra vez de nuevo. We have Raquelita on the phone.
Hey. Raquelita.
No, nos está llamando del más allá, o sea, muy lejos. But yeah, so Raquelita, you said that you had a spooky story that you wanted to share with us.
Of course. It's a fantastic story.
Yeah, you get right in it. Get us all spooked up.
Okay. All right, let me get my spooky voice on. Once upon a time, there was a Raquelita. I don't even remember. I was maybe like between the ages of 5 and 8. Mm-hmm. I remember we lived in this house in Bloomington, California. Shout out. And this house used to be next to a cemetery. As a kid, you don't really think much. You don't know anything about ghosts or the afterlife or anything like that. But I remember this one particular night, I was, tucked in my little bed in my little blankie. In this room, we actually shared it with my other sisters, 3 other sisters. And in this room, we actually had this big wall mirror. Mm-hmm. And it always creeped me out. This one particular night, I woke up and something told me to look at the mirror. Standing in front of the mirror, should I say, was a little girl dressed in all white. Oh. She had this glow to her. And the creepiest thing was that she looked like one of my sisters.
Ooh.
Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this part.
Yo puedo saber por qué.
Yeah, she looked like one of my sisters. So I was like, esta loca, what is she doing up at whatever time in the middle of the night combing her hair? The little girl was also, that's one detail I forgot. She was combing her hair and looking straight at me through the mirror.
Oh my gosh, I have chills on my face.
And so in my mind, I'm thinking it's my sister combing her hair because, picture day next day or something. I don't know. And so what I do is I go under my blanket. I count to 3, 1, 2, 3. I put the blanket down and I look back at the mirror. There was no one there.
Shut the front door.
And then to put the cherry on top, I look over to the bed and all the sisters were accounted for.
Shut the front door. Dude, I don't know if I completely forgot about the sister part. That it looked like one of us.
Yeah, like she was wearing a white dress for sure. Mm-hmm. Obviously not a kind of dress from our time from the time that I saw it. So it was like a older style dress.
Like a gown, right? Like those really long exorcist looking gowns.
Kind of. It was kind of like a nightgown. But yeah, it was just all white. Even her skin was white, or should I say pale. And like just looking at her, she just had this glow.
She was glowing.
I wanted to know what highlighter she was wearing.
Dang.
I know. I was trying to think about. I was like, what am I going to say?
No, but yeah, she had this white glow to her. It never really kicked into me what I saw that day, and I don't think I ever really said anything about it because you're a kid, you don't really know much about ghosts and afterlife. So until like later on in life, you talk about spooky stories, and this was brought up, and I was like, oh, shoot, maybe I did see a ghost. Saying it out loud and putting the pieces together, we lived next to a cemetery. It was an older house, and, it kind of made sense that it was someone from the afterlife.
And then Arlene, I don't know if you remember that I told you that Arlene had the same thing too.
Yeah, so there you go. It's confirmed. She's roaming around that house.
Was it that day or like a different day?
I don't. I'm sure it was a different day. Oh. But we should call Arlene.
I do have a couple questions for you, Raquelita.
See.
One, you did mention you were able to see the face, correct? And it was wrinkly.
Yeah, it was like her skin, her skin. Face, and like what I was able to see from her arms and legs, she was very pale, and it was like a white glow. Okay, but
the question going to that one, so were you able to see the eyes?
Oh,
were you able to do eye contact?
She was staring at me through the mirror, but I don't remember if it was like detailed human eyes or if they were just
dark eyes or any type
or white or anything like that.
And you know what I'm thinking? Like people might say, "Oh no, it's probably sleep paralysis, whatever." But you were able to move, and that's the thing. Like with sleep paralysis, you can't even move.
Oh yeah, I was able to move, and like I said, I thought it was my sister, so I didn't freak out.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, sorry.
So I'm sorry if I interrupted, but I'm like I was kind of like playing peekaboo. Like, let me see if this is real or not.
Correct. My second question, do you remember if your sisters had a short hair by this time? So the long hair, we could take it as a conclusion that it wasn't them for sure.
Yeah, during that time, we all had short hair.
Yeah, we all had little honguito hair.
Okay, then. So there you guys go, guys. So in reality, it could have been one of her sisters.
But it looked like one of us, but we all had like bowl cut hair, honguito hair. Did you have another question?
We sure did.
Nope, that was it. I just wanted to bring that out just for the guys can say, like, no, it was their sisters. Yeah. Nope, they had short hair.
I do have another question. You said that you saw her standing. Was she floating or was it more like... Because you know how they say that they float?
We all float down here. No, she was just standing like normal.
Uh-huh.
Just, yeah.
That's crazy, dude. And that's the only...
Bizarre.
I know, super bizarre. Is that the only paranormal experience you've had or you've had more?
Okay, so there's one, and I just thought about this one, and it was at the same house, and it might have been my kid mind, or it could have been real, but we've all been told of La Mano Peluda. I don't think I've ever told anybody this story, actually, now that I think about it.
No, I'm like shocked right now.
Okay, so this one's really bizarre. I still don't think... I to this day, I don't know what to believe, if it was real or not, or like I said, it was like my kid imagination.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember it was around the time we were packing up, ready to move to...
What?
I had these sandals, my cute little sandals. One of the sandals were under the bed, and I tried to pull it out. But as I tried to pull it out, I'm going to sound crazy.
No.
Something came out. It was a hand out of the wall and took the sandal, and I never saw that sandal ever again.
Shut up. I have not heard this one before.
Yeah, and like, you know, like I said, you're a kid, you don't really think about these things. It was bizarre in my own kid mind, but like I kind of blew it off like, oh, well, that was weird, but I'll find my sandal later, you know? I'll find it somewhere in another room. But I never found it.
That's freaking insane. I have no, and I mean, I believe it because I mean, I know there have been, and I mentioned in the other podcast that there have been so many paranormal activities that happened in that house. So I 100% believe it. I don't think it was your kid mind. I know they say that kids can see things that, and we had just said that earlier, like before we got on the call with you, that that kids and dogs are able to see things that we cannot see.
Oh yeah.
Well, you guys heard it here first.
La Mano Peluda. Maybe like one or two more stories if you're willing to hear them out, but
yeah,
I think those are my two.
Yeah, no, definitely keep them in your little notepad para la otra. We can call you again if you have time.
Yeah, if you ever, just remind me, glowing red eyes and under the
Órale.
bed.
Glowing red eyes and under the bed.
Yes, they're two different stories.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Rachelita. We know you're busy. Thank you for calling us. It was definitely spooky. It was definitely a first time hearing that one.
Spooky, ookie dookie.
All right, Raquelita. So we'll talk to you later then.
Later. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for having me on Last One y Nos Vamos. Y
Woo.
esta vez sí me voy porque ya me andan llamando. So.
Alrighty.
All right,
Later.
pues, careful.
All right.
Bye.
TTYL. Bye.
Bye. Shut the front door. La mano peluda. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what the mano peluda is, it's another leyenda. It's another legend, and we can probably talk about it in another one. But yeah, it's another like legend about the mano peluda.
Did your parents ever use that?
Oh, heck yes.
That
Te va a
phrase.
agarrar. What? ¿Te va a
That
agarrar la mano
phrase, yeah.
peluda? Heck
Yeah.
yes. Mira, si no te portas bien, te va a agarrar la mano peluda.
My dad did, but I heard him like tell it to somebody else. He
Yeah.
never really used it to us. Because there was little kids always curious in our house.
My mom would always get us with, la mano peluda, or like our siblings or older siblings or uncles with the mano peluda. And whenever my siblings and I would fight, she would say, van a ver, se les va a aparecer el. And then after that, we would be like, ah! Just yell. It's like, okay, I need to be good.
Ahora sí, quieren ser nice.
Oh, that's so scary. Like, I got chills.
I wonder if anybody from you guys, meaning your family or anybody around you, had a, ¿cómo se les llama? The best friends?
Imaginary friend?
I wonder if you guys got that, or even Rachel, because she was one of the younger ones.
That's the thing. Maybe because since she experienced all of this stuff, I don't know if my other siblings did, but I know my dad for sure did.
Yeah.
Or actually, no, I think a couple of my other siblings have experienced paranormal.
But this is where I'm talking just in normal, like having a best friend.
Yeah, not that I'm aware of.
You
guys?
Do you believe it?
I do. Well, like I said.
What would you think? Like, it's just the kid's mind, or would you believe it? That's something, that we're not able to see, but they're seeing it.
It can be both. It can be where, like, okay, the kids make up their own little imaginary friends. But that I do believe that there is, maybe someone that follows them around.
Oh, no, I think for me, because I didn't have an imaginary friend, so I think in reality there's somebody there at that point in time when somebody said there's an imaginary friend.
Yeah. For those of you who are still watching, like, do you guys know someone who had an imaginary friend, or did you have an imaginary friend? And like, can you remember them? Yeah. Or because there's people who can remember, and then there's people who cannot remember it, and they only know because somebody else told them. Yeah, that's crazy.
Cray.
Super crazy. But yeah, that's my part.
Bueno.
We'll kick it off to Lenchito. A ver qué traes para acá.
Alrighty, we'll make this real easy and simple. So my story is not really a spooky. I don't know. It might freak you out because you basically live with me now.
Oh,
Pero
man.
para decirte que I think you have proven, or you have proof of my family being kind of weird in these type of situations. As you met my aunt, one of my aunts, what she used to do when we played lottery.
I don't even want to say it, but she would pretty much try to call, someone. Whenever she would play lottery, she would be like, "Ándale, que el ñaca ñaca," and she would hit the card, and I was just like.
Yeah, so this is the story. My dad's part of the family was into all that, was into the whole, like, craft stuff.
Like witchcraft?
Yeah.
Oh,
so they really, I don't know, but that aunt, I will say she basically did something when she was younger. And then I'm mentioning this because, again, like you said, like your dad, with all his experiences, and we've heard it before that most of the time Mexico is the one that you get more experience. But I think they used to do all these, whatever. I'm just gonna say crafts. I'm not gonna say whatever witchcrafts, just crafts. I think they used to use these crafts because that's the way they were able to cure sickness.
Oh yeah,
You get me? So your dad, same thing. He came from a very small ranchito. My dad did too. His family did too. So That's why I believe your dad really went through it, just like my parents. Now, my dad and my mom supposedly has stuff done to them too.
Like bad stuff. Somebody doing something bad to them.
Yeah, for my dad, the problem with me, you know me, I don't really like to ask too many questions, so I don't like asking them, but they would tell me the story, and I'm not going to say I don't believe it or do believe it, but like my dad, he got a curse on something.
So he was cursed?
He was cursed. Like, he told me straight up what he was cursed.
So what happened?
And I'm not going to go into detail because I don't like going to the whole situation, the vibe, but it's basically that he couldn't pee. So I had to do something with that.
Oh my god.
All right. Then with my mom, I do remember, like, back when I was young, there was this doctor that used to come, and I think I've said it before in a different episode, like, we were immigrants. So I don't know if my mom didn't want to go to a hospital for this reason, but she will always be sick. So this doctor would come over to the house and basically check up on her. But at the same time, when I was remembering him back, I remember, we technically do use some stuff still, que el ojo, y que el empacho. And you don't believe it, but I do believe it because I've been through it. You get me? And especially knowing this background part of my family.
Well, again, it's not that I don't believe in it. It's more because it's something that's not godly, That it's not something that, usually it's like, okay, prayer. That's what I grew up with. So
that's all you know of.
That I know of, it's like, okay, pray, but
now
nothing like...
Now that I mentioned that your dad probably had more into it, if he tells you some of these stories, would you be more willing to be open-minded and be like, okay, like these things actually work?
Yeah. And see, okay, so it's one thing is seeing and believing, right? But then what if you open up like this portal that you don't, like, now you're into this, with this craft, like you're saying, and then next thing you know, you have bad stuff happening to you because you're gonna have to give something else in return.
That's what I was mentioning. Is the same thing. It's almost, this is the way they were able to consider being
like healed.
Yeah,
healing.
Yeah, so like obviously you didn't have a choice. Like, it was this or nothing. So so that's why with my mom, same thing. Like, I don't know this whole doctor situation. I don't know if it was because of health situation, us immigrants or not, but he will come like at least once a month. He will come, and it will be weird. Like at the middle of the night, it would be like early in the morning. So he would just come. But
and your mom knew this doctor? Like, was it like a family doctor? I don't know. I was too young.
I was young. It was just this doctor. For me, it was just weird to see this doctor always coming.
Yeah.
But I didn't know the backstory of it. I'm just telling you for what I remember. One of the times, too, I remember this bowl. There was this big old bowl, like a fruit bowl, but it was white.
Yeah.
And there was this thing inside of there, almost looking like a, what's those fish, those prickly-looking fish?
Prickly-looking fish?
Yeah, no, it's not really a fish. I think it's a fish, the little circle. They're like very near to the water.
Sea urchin?
I think so, yeah. The sea urchin, ya ves como están, se miran like a piece of yarn almost.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they're the little circle ones.
Well, you'll insert a picture if you remember.
And this thing said, básicamente, it would dry up. So it would dry up, y yo siempre lo quería tirar. And I would tell my mom, like, oh, let's throw it away already. It looked dry. And she'd be like, no, you can't throw it away. And she'd be like, go put more water in it.
Oh.
So I would do this constantly. So again, what if this thing was a ritual about something? But I remember always looking at this thing and telling my mom, let's throw it away. But she'd be like, no, let's not to. And then the backstory on that, my mom at the same time was very scared of owls. And you know what they say about owls?
Yeah.
Like, it could be like a messenger of a witch. It could be a witch. And again, owls, it's a very interested type of bird. Because again, the eyes on the front, right? There are many birds don't have their eyes in the front. And if you look at them, se miran como magos. like the way the body is, and like a cape over them.
Yeah.
And fun facts about owls, they're able to see half a mile away for their prey. That's one. Second is they're very silent when they're flying, so you don't hear anything. You know how you hear a bird flap
Like
there's wings?
They
You can't hear them at all. Not even a special microphone can pick it up. That's how silent they are.
So what happened with your mom? So your mom would just get sick all the time, and this doctor was healing her, or
I don't know. I can't tell you. I just remember, like, again, it was just weird. Why would a doctor come at the middle of the night and you would just call them?
This is why you ask questions.
No.
You need to ask questions.
No.
Like, hey, remember like this doctor? That's how we know these things. Like, but do you feel like if you ask questions, you're inviting something in or something?
Yeah, because I really believe on these vibrations.
Energies and stuff like that?
Like, if I believe in Ojo, I believe on, on the egg, as you call it, the spiritual, the cleanse of the egg, all of that. Like, for you, it's easy to be like, oh, yeah, you should ask about it. But, like, I feel like you're really opening situations here.
Yeah.
And, like, my mom would be really terrified about owls.
Yeah.
Like, we will be driving and she would be like, oh, there's an owl. Or my dad couldn't tell my mom that there was an owl because she would be scared. And she wouldn't want to go out no more.
Yeah, my mom's side of the family, they don't really believe. They know, they're aware that it's something like that, but they choose not to practice it. Because, I mean, same thing, like, it's not godly, But my dad's side of the family, they do believe in, like, the whole owls. They do believe in all that stuff. I mean, I personally, I do believe that, there's a way to cure sicknesses and other things like that, or even put bad stuff on people. But that's something that I'm not going to, touch on.
But you wanted me to ask the questions, you see, so that's the reason why I don't want to answer I don't want to ask the questions.
Yeah, and for me, it's just like you're just asking. It's not like, oh, like you're asking because you want to try it out. Like, I'm not going to try it out. One thing is, because again, it's all about energy and what energy you're going to be putting into it. So if you're going to be like, oh, like I'm going to try it, and you're going to try it, then maybe that's when you're pretty much just opening up a portal. Not a portal, but you're just, I don't know, like you're. It's
I
almost
just
like
don't
you're
think you take
it
it very seriously because it was never done to you. That's it. I mean,
I think it was done to one of my sisters.
Same thing as what you mentioned the other day. Like, somebody could be all into, spooky stuff, spooky movies. They don't get terrified. But like I mentioned to you, it's because they've never lived through it. And once they live through it, then it's a whole different situation.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like that. Like, I knew about stuff like that I was like, I'd rather keep it out and I don't want to know about it. But it was weird situations that I was able to see, and I'm
like, this isn't normal.
For me, it wasn't, even though I was just a kid. I mean, why was it so important? This little thing that I'm telling you looked like a little jarn for her not to throw it away. And it was just that. It was just that little piece and this big old fruit bowl white.
Yeah.
So I was like, why do you want it so much?
I know.
But the other thing about owls, so do owls freak you out?
I mean, they only freak me out because of the bad stories that like the spooky stories that I've heard about, that there's just no good association with owls. I guess that there's no good association with like certain owls. Like, there's some owls that are good, there's some owls that are bad.
Well, depending on what you want to make them.
Yeah.
Like.
I mean, not depending what you want to make them, but I mean, I don't know. Just as long as I'm okay, I'm like, leave me alone. But yeah, no, when I see an owl, I've heard that, like, if you see an owl, that it means that
it's coming.
That someone's going to pass from your family. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I don't want to. And I've seen owls before, so now I have that in my head, and I'm just like, okay, I know it's can or cannot be true. So, but it is at the back of my mind, like, oh my gosh, like, I don't want to believe it, but I'm like, okay, what if, let's say, like, my dreams, right? Like with my dreams. So let's say if I were to see an owl and somebody later on I found out that they pass, then I'm gonna be like, okay, there's something, or is it a coincidence?
Yeah, well, that's the reason why I was giving you the facts of what owls have, because seeing a half a mile, that's a long way to be able to see and that's what their capability of doing. They're able to see at night. They're turning of the head 270 degrees.
And they're mysterious because you don't see them often.
And
usually,
you
can't hear them. So there's just like a bunch of other birds that you can see them. They travel in flocks. And how often can you say, "Oh, I see an owl"? Maybe up in the mountains, but not here. Like you can look out your window. You're most likely going to see a bird, chilling outside or pass by. But an owl, you don't.
Yeah, and basically, again, we know some of these other, special rituals or worshiping them. So again, por eso traje de lo mago, like it looks like a little mago if you look at it. So as all of us know from, the Northern California, the whole forest, and there's a wooden owl there. So
that it's worshipped.
Yeah, but for them, I'm not gonna go all into detail, but for them, supposedly that community of that special group became because the people that worked in the office, like they wanted to get away and not do, not talk about work, so they made their own little club. You know how tennis they have a special club, so they wanted to make a special club. And then EDC has an owl too, right? So my thought was like, oh, EDC does an owl, so what if the person that did EDC, he was like, oh, well, they want to have their special club, we're gonna have an owl and make it for people in EDC, like make their own club, and even though people are not rich, because we know people from there are rich.
In EDC?
No, on the other one. On the one in Northern California.
So it's only rich people that go there.
Yeah, you could be invited. You have to be invited only. Moving along, what else do you have for us, Margarita?
Since we're still in the Hispanic Heritage Month, what a great way to continue it by telling one of our folklore, ¿cómo se dice? Unas leyendas.
Oh, okay.
So, we have the Llorona, we have the Mano Peluda, we have, just so many things. But one of them that I have never heard about, have you heard of the Charro Negro?
Yeah, I think I've heard about him.
Okay, so the history of El Charro Negro, it takes place in the 1800s in San Juan de los Lagos. So somewhere in Mexico. And pretty much where it stemmed from is that this Charro Negro, supposedly he sold his soul to the, and I'm not going to say it out loud.
Nah, somebody does believe that.
That he sold his soul and in exchange for wealth. So dice la leyenda that one day he would, he got out of work, he went to a bar with his friends, and while they were at the bar, they were pretty much just chatting it up like, man, I'm tired of being poor, like this is unfair, because they weren't getting paid a fair wage. And then while they were having their drinks, a person in all black approaches them and pretty much just tells them like, hey, I can, in exchange for your soul, I can give you wealth. So after that, his friends were like, oh, heck no. So they ended up se fueron ellos, and this man ended up accepting it. So once he accepted it, like he got his wealth, he was living it up. And when it was time for him to give up his soul, he was like, oh no, I don't want to. So he ended up going in hiding, like he was hiding. And fast forward now, I guess since he didn't give up his soul, he's still roaming the streets in Mexico. And a lot of people say that he's roaming the streets in different places in Mexico. I'm like, just like the Llorona. The Llorona is not just in one place, but it's pretty much everywhere else. So pretty much they say that El Charro Negro goes up to them, offers them wealth, and if they don't accept, leaves them alone. He goes up. El Charro Negro goes off his merry way. But if you accept, same thing. He says, okay, great. You know what? Where are you headed to? Like, se lo sube a su caballo, and he takes them to this deserted forest, I guess. And he pretty much just takes their soul away.
So the Charro Negro became basically the one that started hunting for souls?
Yeah, so now he's pretty much just trying to take other people's souls and hoping that he can free his soul, but he can't because he didn't comply with the rules. And it's crazy because like, yes, you hear about it, you hear about the Llorona, you hear about this, but it's just like seeing is believing it, right? So there's a video, there's been maybe, I only saw like 2 videos, but there's this one video where somebody had a camera outside their house, and they just, I guess they saw a black horse, and it's just like a shadow. But if you see a horse, if you see something, like you're able to see it clearly, right? But this one, you're not really able to see. It's kind of like a silhouette, and it just doesn't look normal. And you can just see the horse passing by. Same thing with another one, like hay como una vaca or some kind of cattle on the road, y va pasando un caballo with someone on the horse. Isn't that crazy?
So I'm guessing because he didn't give up his soul, as you mentioned, so he was cursed to live on forever, and he can pass away.
Yeah, he's cursed for the rest of his eternal life, or even in the afterlife. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's crazy. I'm like, damn, imagine like, oh, hell yeah, I want to be rich, and then next thing you know, they take your soul away.
But I wonder what happened to the first person that gave him that ability.
The first person?
Yeah.
Well, they're saying that the person that approached him, that it was the... And I was wondering, I was like, wait, why the charro? But I guess supposedly he got suited up in a black charro suit and took his black horse and dipped out. He's like, I'm going into hiding. Is that our last one y nos vamos?
Antes del last one y nos
story?
vamos, Margarita, I do have some great news that doesn't have to do anything with spooky. Well, to let you know, just her last one y nos vamos, this is, and I don't know if you've seen Margarita, but again, we always going to be mentioning Fuerza Regida. They became the Billboard Artista Regional Mexicano del Año. That's one. And the second one, they basically became Top Latin Album Artista del Año. So 2 awards here for San Bernardino, California.
Damn, they came out of from San Bernardino.
Así
That's what's
es. So yeah, JOP representing us here, San Bernardino guys.
Dang,
and hopefully
that's awesome.
one day you give us the opportunity to represent this podcast as San Bernardino, one of your own. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they made it, San Bernardino made it all the way to Miami
to everywhere.
Así es, Billboard de la música latina. So for that,
we taking over.
I brought a shot.
Válgame
so
Dios.
lo tenemos que tomar aquí for 2 for 2 trophies that they got.
I'm scared.
For what? You're celebrating
cold?
Here. No, pues ya se calentó.
Oh, me va a quemar la garganta.
Tu historias were lasting too long.
Oh my. Okay, ready?
So yeah, aquí para San Bernardino, Fuerza Regida, congratulations, and for too many more.
And many more.
A ver cuando nos dejan a nosotros, like I mentioned.
I know.
So,
Para
cheers.
arriba, para abajo, para centro y para adentro. I know you don't like that long one.
Vámonos.
It's hot. Oh,
Ay, está calientito.
it is hot. Ugh,
Well, guys, we
worst.
are going to close it up with that one. And again, thanks to all the subscribers, all the listeners.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and follow us on TikTok, on Instagram, your favorite Margarita, and last one y nos vamos.
Así es. And again, I know we didn't get to you guys back on where you can send your stories, but remember, you can still send them out in Instagram.
Or put them in the comments. We'll read them for the next one.
Yes. All right. Nos vemos.
Bye.
Peace.